Hello everyone, I'm Psychotic, and that's also my screen name. We are back with episode 24 of our Season 2 for Medieval Dynasty. Today we're going to work on getting those villagers that we needed, getting the rest of the rocks that we needed to finish off the houses, probably harvesting our rye fields, getting some flatbread made, and definitely doing some questing over the course of winter. If you learn anything useful today, or if you have a good time, please don't be afraid to drop a like. If you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, let's go ahead and load in. Alrighty, here we are. We are still in winter, which is a good time for questing. Got some rocks that we need to get. And we've got some people to go looking for. Now, I don't remember, did we do a sale run? I'm pretty sure we did a sale run, so I don't know that we really have much to sell. We did already take care of the Herald, so we don't have to worry about that, thankfully. We do need to get these houses finished up. We're going to need quite a bit of stone for those. I know we haven't really done much with the mine other than the 4 nodes that we harvested just to get some rocks. So perhaps we'll take care of that as well. But I want to see what we have available for sale. Now we are going to need to make at least 2 more market stalls. Hopefully one for food and one for clothing is what I think we're going to do. Since we have a tendency to have more clothing than we can sell, and we have a tendency with the flatbread to have way more flatbread than we can sell effectively. So I think between the two, that'll be the way to handle that. Alright. So ladles and spoons are going to be the best thing to use your sticks for until you have markets. Once you have markets, the baskets take 5 sticks per, and it makes the amount sold on the stick. The amount of coins per stick will remain the same. Small baskets. So it takes 5 sticks to make 1 as opposed to 1 stick to make 1, and 1 of these is worth 5 of these. So it works out that way. The reason that we want to do these instead, if we have markets, is that they weigh a little bit more. So it's not a really good weight ratio if you're going to sell them by hand in the early game, but once you have the markets up, it is absolutely worth it to do these instead, because it's going to take less manpower to both craft them and less manpower to sell them. So that's going to make them worth a little bit more. I completely forgot to make stuff out of bronze while we were over there. But we can go ahead and go into our services, and I believe those are under resources? I might be wrong. I might have just lied. They might be under tools. Nope, they are under resources. So right now we've got them selling wooden vials at a fairly alarming rate. We only have 1 day worth of vials left. So we're going to back this off to, say, 200. 203 will work. And then we're going to throw what's left over into baskets. Oh, that's probably going to be a lot more than what I wanted. Okay. So let's set this at 30. And then we can look at feathers, maybe? Feathers wouldn't hurt. Okay. That's not going to be perfect. We're going to have to futz with that some more after we get some people in the workshop for sure. But for right now, it's not going to hurt anything to leave it the way that it is. There we go. It wasn't going to load our icons there for a moment. Okay. So we still need to talk to Sambor for that quest. What other quests do we have? In Alwyn, we need to talk to Alwyn. I'm pretty sure this is the one that's going to make us run around quite a bit. So let's go up to Tukdi and Baranica and see what they have for quests on our way over. So I'm pretty sure the Lesnica one was one we blew off. And I'm not going to Hornica. I'm just not. So let's go see what kind of shenanigans we can get into. Don't have to worry about it. We're not really going to go after any iron because we still can't do anything with it. So right now we are just focusing on the basic materials. Oh, that is a hammer. That is not going to help. But mostly we just need the rocks right now. And the ore is definitely going to be helpful because we have that second smithy that can't do anything right now. So I did do some research, and I'm pretty sure Venomous is already aware because I posted it in the Discord, but I did do some research on the kings, and it turns out that they really do matter. There are 3 different types of king. There's a neutral king, a good king, and a bad king. And the differences between them are a good king, as you do his missions, your taxes will go down, and it says good here, so that's good. But ambitious is one of the good kings. Your taxes will go down as you do their challenges, and your people's happiness will go up. Now, with bad kings, as you do their challenges, your taxes will go down, but your people's happiness will go down as well. The neutral kings, your taxes will go down, but your people's happiness will not change. Now, you can actually kind of cheese your king if you got a bad king and you don't want him. If you don't do their challenges, or if you intentionally accept and fail their challenges, which will raise your taxes, they have a higher chance to die. And when they die, they are replaced by another random king. Now, your chances of which type of king you get are dependent on how many days per season you have. The best chances that you have of a good king are using the default 3 days per season. And at that point, I don't remember the exact percentages because I already closed Discord. But you still have a slightly higher chance for a bad king than you do a good king, but you have the highest chance for a neutral king. So that's a thing. But that's where they matter, and their title tells you which of the 3 categories they fall into. Generally speaking, if it sounds negative, they're a bad king. If it sounds positive, then they're a good king. And if it sounds neutral, they're probably a neutral king. There are a couple that are borderline that I would not have expected. Like, the coward is actually neutral, not bad. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward as to which is which. Yeah, well, we are mining right now. It's not intended for the whole day. We're just trying to get enough rocks to finish the houses that we started at the end of last episode, because I went to run a sale run and grab some new villagers and realized that we don't have anywhere to put them. So we need to get those houses done ASAP. So we're just in here to collect. We're not going to clear the whole mine. We're just in here to collect some stone. So we're going to need about 200 stone. But also, one of our smithies is out of ore. So yes, lazy, I believe, is neutral. I think. I believe so. But basically, neutral and good, you definitely want to do the challenges for them, because that's just going to lower your taxes. If it's good, it's even better, because not only will it lower your taxes, but it's also going to make your villagers happy. If it's bad, you might consider just ignoring. An ambitious king could bring a lot of trouble, but a lazy or cowardly king won't. That's fair. A lazy and cowardly king probably won't start unnecessary wars or cause really any waves politically, so to speak, because they don't want to be on the receiving end of whatever backlash there is. That's a very valid point, Alex. But yeah, finding data on that was hard. I don't know if they changed the way that the mechanic works at some point over the game's life cycle, or if there was just a lot of misinformation about it going on in the early days, but there was a lot of contradicting information and before I finally found someone that it looked like had done a bit of data mining based on the percentage chances that they were throwing out. And then there were a bunch of people that agreed with them, so I'm assuming that that's accurate. It was also from relatively recently as opposed to the other stuff that was older, so that's kind of what we're going with at this point. Yeah, I think you're right, Venomous. I really do. I think there is an ongoing war. Because I know sometimes the king wants stuff for the war effort, but as far as that is, I think it's more or less random. But yeah, Racemir's origin story is that's why he lost his parents. Because there's also mention in some of Unagast's quests that he's not entirely sure that his parents are dead. They're just lost. I mean, they may as well be dead to him, but... Because he mentions that a couple of times, that he lost his parents in the war and he didn't know where his mom was, and... It seems like it's up in the air, which, I mean, to be fair, particularly in that time, but even now, I mean, there's a lot of people go missing in war that we never find out what actually happened to them. What did I miss? Ah. There we go. So now our 2 houses are done. So let's see where... Oh, right, we didn't. I was going to say, let's see where we put the farmers, but I realized that we don't actually have them yet. Because I definitely need to reevaluate where our farmers are currently living. Based on the way that our housing shape has changed, I want to make sure that they're as close to the fields as possible. They are actually the only peasants that matter where they live. Everybody else starts their quote-unquote work from the time that the clock hits work time to the time that they go to bed at night. But the ones that are working the field have to actually be on site. So you always want your farmers living as close to your fields as you can get them. Everybody else really doesn't matter. Does that goose have red eyes? Excuse me, goose. Excuse me. I need to see your eyeballs. I think it does. Creepy. Nope, that's not where I wanted to be. But I think with the addition of a second person selling clothing, we should by rights be able to actually have them sell the hats and not have to do sale runs for those anymore. The other upside to this is anything that we sell through our merchant stalls, we don't have to worry about actually ousting villages of coins through. So that's going to give us some extra options as far as accruing money. Because we'll be able to get more out of stuff. It's just a steady income and I love it. There we go. We'll take 16 of this. Basically these games have paint a weird world where the modern institutions but Middle Ages technology. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's common in gaming though. It's difficult to walk that fine line, and I'm sure to a lot of people learning new things is fun, and I am certainly one of them. But to a lot of today's day and age, learning new things is boring and tedious. So it's kind of a fine line to walk with games. And you see that a lot in games that could have done very, very well but ended up failing. You want to simulate an adventure, but you only want to simulate the entertaining parts of the adventure. Like, you don't want to simulate the part where it took them 6 weeks to walk across the landscape. You want to try to minimize that as much as you can, and I think that's where that comes from. They try to get... That's not right. That's not enough eggs. They try to get as much of it as they can for entertainment and cherry-pick things, but they try to leave out the parts that are boring and that nobody's going to have any interest in. And sometimes it's a swing and a miss, sometimes it's good, but unfortunately you wind up with things that are oddly out of place. But that is ever the challenge of game companies, is finding a way to simulate a real experience while at the same time not making it boring to where nobody wants to do it. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys remember Pirates of the Burning Sea, but that game was a phenomenally good mixture of sailing places, dealing with winds, Kingdom Come Deliverance, fair, But you had to deal with all of these different things, but you also didn't have to take, you know, a real-time week to sail all the way around available ocean area. Another good example of that would be a lot of the high fantasy books where, you know, you read about and then the group of adventurers stopped for the night and made a stew. Well, if you've ever made a stew, you know that any kind of actually edible stew generally takes the better part of a full day to make. So the fact that they stop every night and have stew for dinner is just unrealistic. But that way they don't have to worry about the details of actually feeding their fake people, so to speak. But you are right, there are some parts of this game, particularly if you go straight vanilla like we did for Season 1. The crafting, I get that they're trying to make it realistic, but it is a bit over the top. I was to the point where with 3 fields of rye, it would take me the better part of an entire season in-game to process the stuff. Just standing in the barn, threshing it, and then turning it into things. And that part definitely needed help. Okay, let's see. So your tools, your materials, and your clothing. So I would like to put the other clothing down at this end, just so that we don't have them like right next to each other, and put the other materials down at the other end, ideally. Just so it looks good. Okay, now what I think that we're going to do is we're going to put, obviously the male in one and the female in the other. We don't really have a choice that direction. But I would like to put the female in the one that is selling materials, and the clothing rather, and the male in the one that is selling crap, I don't know which one's which. Okay, so that's clothing, which means this one's going to be materials. So we're going to want to put the female in this one. No, it's going to be food. So this one's going to be the male. I've already forgot what I was talking about. My brain is just absolutely shot today. Or I was expecting to take them, but I want to get some of these people checked out and possibly do some sales while we're in those vicinities. And then we'll pick up our quest with Sambor again. So we only have 1 day left of winter, and I would like to actually get some questing done on it if we can. To Baranica. I honestly don't know why they put Baranica and Branica right next to each other. The Easter egg in the mountains behind Hornica? It's not coming to mind. I know we found a little shrine set up on the mountain here, right above the cave. There was a wolf figurine sitting on the peak of the rock, and then a bunch of rabbits in a half circle at the base of the rock that were all looking towards it. But there's one behind Hornica, huh? Back up in here somewhere? Yeah, I've noticed that too, Alex, and I'm thinking it's been relatively recent, because I feel like he trips over friggin' everything now. I told you not to bother me. I need to know where to find Kestrel. I see, and you want to know right away? Yes. Because the matter is urgent and cannot wait? Yes. Splendid. Then it seems I have all the leverage. I love this guy. I have an errand for you to run. Oh, come on. Are you seriously going to exploit me like that? Precisely. What needs to be done? I need you to obtain some items for me, which are beets, onions, cabbages, and carrots. Are you kidding me? You want me to get your groceries just as the story gets so interesting? I'm going to be frank with you, boy. I don't care. Get me my food and you'll have your precious information. That's just poor storytelling right there. Nothing you can do about it. Maybe it's supposed to be funny, or clever, or cynical, or whatever. Isn't there any other way? Don't I have any choice? I guess the way in which you obtain the vegetables is all the choice you get. That's simply lazy. Stop barking and go fetch, doggy. I hate this. That was kind of a fourth wall thing there. And I love it. Although Sambor is one of my favorite characters. He is a crotchety old man and he makes me laugh. So I guess let's head home and dump some of the sales goods off. We'll just let them sell them slowly over time. For now. Maybe we'll run another sales run later. But we'll dump all of that stuff off at home and go see about Alwyn's quest. As we need the vendors open to buy the goods for Sambor. Because I'm not going to waste field space growing half that crap when it's going to cut into our money. I love when he references Skyrim and he asks if you've ever taken an arrow to the knee. Right? Yep, that is indeed one of our villagers. Oh, that's why she was way the shit over there. That's the one we just hired. The farmer gal. I assumed she was headed east, and she was actually headed west. Yeah, that was actually rather silly. I was thinking of ending in Gustovia, just so that we could do Alwyn's quest while we were there, because he's going to send us out to hunt a bear. But that's silly, because it's the only farm until we get clear over past Tukti. So it's probably better just to start here. Buy what we need. So we need 20 beetroot, 20 onion, and 20 carrot.
Best goods in the valley.
So we're going all in on cherry. I'm proud of you. When I first started watching, you were a loot goblin. You're not wrong. And I do still have my problems sometimes. But I had to start. We had to do something different because it was getting to the point where I could never walk. I do have to admit, though, every time I leave loot behind, it does kill a little part of me inside. We already cleaned him out. That's not going to help.
How is life treat? Only the best products here.
Mostly it's the limited amount of storage in this game that made me calm down.
He used to.
If I could just build chests all willy-nilly, and I know that we can build chests, but they don't hold very much. But if we could build, like, as many storage buildings as we wanted, I would still be picking up everything I came across. There wouldn't even be sticks left on the mountains. Hi, hello Hunter. When's our next tournament? We will no longer play the target shooting competition. It's fun for rookies. Oh, where's this change in attitude come from? Gisela herself trained me. I've been hunting wild game for a long time now. You've certainly gained a lot of confidence. I hunted a bear once. Nothing scares me anymore. A bear? Congratulations. This is actually a big thing. Took me 9 hours. Not only are they hard to kill, but they're hard to find. Can you beat that time? We won't know till I give it a try. Fine, you have 8 hours. Kill a bear during this time, and I'll admit that you're the best hunter there is. As nice as that may sound, I'd prefer something of more value. In this case, let's make it work both ways. If you fail, I keep your 200 coins. Pay in advance, as you may not come back. It's good to know that you're concerned about me, my friend. What if I make it in time? You will get the coins back, plus my share, and even my bow extra on top of that. That's very tempting. Deal? Sure. Any hints regarding bear presence in the valley? You can try the southeast. They like to settle in caves and near reservoirs. Thank you, I'm on my way. That's actually good advice. There are 2 down there. There's one by a little pond, and there's one by the caves. And that is actually exactly where we were going to head. Because there's one here, possibly 2, and then there's one here, and then there is another one here. But we are currently going to head for this one. Now we saw one, like, bum rush into the mine once. So I know that there can be 2 here. I don't know where the other one is at the moment, though. That was an awkward spot for the game to hitch. It all worked out, but that was a really awkward spot for the game to hitch. Whew. I would have, but we've killed enough recently that I know that we can easily take them. Once you get into bronze and iron, it's really not that big of a deal. But if I was coming over here with stone, you bet your ass I wouldn't just have save scummed. I probably would have chilled up on top of there, where he would have bugged out and stayed still while we pelted him to death. But with the bronze, it's not really necessary. Hi, someone ordered a big dead bear? You did it again, unstoppable as always. I try to do my best. Testing my limits has always excited me. Alright, that's enough boasting. Here's my bow. You earned it because you are better than me. You always have been. Alwyn's quest... It really is. Alwyn's quest is kind of a bummer. You don't have to give it to me. I just like to compete for its own sake. Nope, you won fair and square, and I don't deserve it. I should return to work in the fields as I did all my life. Are you serious? Yes, and don't try to change my mind. Dreams are beautiful, but real life is something completely opposite. I won't argue if that's what you want. At least you've had an adventure, right? This is true, and I thank you for that. Now it's time for me to get back to my duties. Take care of yourself, my friend. See you later. Wait for next season, which also happens to be tomorrow. If I can't be the best hunter in the valley, that means I'm not up for hunting at all, right? No, that is a valid point. Trousers. I found pants. I found somebody's pants. Also, they're like halfway worn, which is kind of creepy. I basically just stole somebody's used pants. That's alright. We'll sell them to some other villager that doesn't know any better. Well, that's one of those things. I mean, being the best really isn't all it's cracked up to be. Being the first is. Because if you're the first, nobody can take that away from you. If you're the best, eventually somebody's going to beat you. And then you won't be the best anymore. I miss the good old days. Oh yeah, and Cyberpunk was broken as shit too when it first came out. I miss the good old days when they shipped it and it had the bugs. Like, when it was shipped, it was what it was. There wasn't all the internet to update stuff whenever you felt like it. There were no day one patches. It either worked when you released it or you were a laughingstock and you never worked again. Because now I feel like they release subpar product knowingly because they know that they can get away with it with just a couple of patches down the road.
You have returned.
And it makes me sad. I feel like quality's been slipping for a little while now. Especially in the AAA region. Like, the AAA games are just getting frustratingly bad. You know, when the little underfunded indie studios are doing better than... making better games than some of the AAA studios, that's a sad state of affairs. It really is. Yeah, for what this game is, it's phenomenal. And understanding that Toplets aren't the ones that actually code the game, they're just the publishers. But whoever they had to actually develop this game did a phenomenal job for what it is. And I mean, I started playing it before version 1.0 dropped, so when it was still in early access, and even then it was playable. There wasn't nearly as much to do, but it was perfectly playable. Fair. I've never played Apex Legends. I can't get into the competitive shooters anymore. I don't have the twitch reflexes for it anymore, and it's just not fun to me. It's frustrating. I used to play them a lot when I was in my late teens, early 20s, but somebody just shot a bow at us. Oh, there they are. Ah. Are you gonna punch me? Is that what your plan is? That's a bad plan, man. Alright, where's your bowman? So he had a crossbow. That would have hurt. We really don't want to stand still until we know where he's at. That's why I prefer the PvE shooters, though, because then I don't have to worry about dragging a team down or fighting against a bunch of people who still have their twitch reflexes. I can play with people for a goal. Yeah, there's a wooden crossbow. Noble boots. Okay. We might wear those. What do they look like and what do they do? So our boots are -10 heat, +20 cold. And noble boots are -5 heat, +25 cold. That's actually better. But what do they look like? Nope, I like the way they look. Those, we are now wearing those. Yeah, I know, I used to be hell on wheels back in the day, but it's just not there anymore. It's really not. And I'm sure that you can train to some extent to get it back. I just don't know that I care that much. It's not fun to me like it used to be. I like getting together with my friends and beating the game and the game systems and the AI and figuring out how things work to min-max more than I enjoy fighting other people. What did I... Oh. I was totally riding the wrong direction. Fantastic. Alright, now we are just about ready to trip over into spring, which is going to be a huge bit where we have to harvest all of the rye and whatnot. So we're probably going to end our episode here for tonight, even though it's about 6 minutes early, just because I don't want to have to deal with all of the rye and staying up late for that. So we'll probably stop here. Season change will happen next episode, probably right at the beginning. We'll get the rye harvested, we'll get the flatbread cooked and selling, and then we can go and see if we can find our farmers and see what we can do about some money making. But I think we are going to go ahead and stop here for the night, guys. If you had a good time or if you learned anything useful, please don't be afraid to drop a like. And if you're feeling friendly, maybe go ahead and subscribe. But either way, have a fantastic rest of your night, guys, and we will catch you next time.